Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Monday live stream. Usually we don't go this early, but there's been some developments that I think may be of interest to some people as we cross over 107K. And just like the title and the thumbnail suggest, we're going to talk about just how crazy things could potentially get with Bitcoin. But before we get into that, let's just jump into a little gambling, shall we? So my buddy, Bobby, he's a degenerate gambler. And I just want to show you some of the crazy trades that he's involved in with Polymarket. Now, if you're a United States citizen, as I am, you cannot use Polymarket. So I'm just going to tell you right now, don't try to use it because that is against the terms of service. But thankfully, my friend Bobby is in Australia, and this is what he put out. And I got to tell you, I think he's going to make it. It looks like he put a $200 position. And the bet is that Ethereum will hit an all-time high in 2024, meaning we've only got about, 14 days or so left, 14, 15 days. And we'll see if they can cross that $5,000 barrier. But, you know, if he put $200 in, 20% chance, and if he wins, the potential return's not too bad, $952. So the next one Bobby took out was the will Trump create a Bitcoin reserve in the first 100 days? Now, the chances of this before today was like the same thing, 21, 22%. The return's much higher now, or much higher before. But if you do it today, it looks like 37%. And Bobby took out a nice little $200 position as well. And the one that I thought he would do, this is not degenerate enough for him, but the Fed decision in December, you can do that right now, but it's like a 97% chance that's going to happen. But you can make a whopping, I don't know, if you put in like $1,000, you could, the potential return would be 1,028. And Bobby, unfortunately, degenerate. He just does not take those bets, even though it's pretty much a lock. So that's what's going on the gambling side. Let's talk about the responsible side, which would be Bitcoin. So today, I did not have this on my bingo card that Bitcoin would cross its all-time high and quickly. So it's been fluctuating around 106.9, 107, and we can see here, where are we here? Let me refresh this. This isn't, oh, yeah, 106.938. Yeah, you can see that at one point we were at 107,125. And so you think to yourself, well, that's pretty great. What's going on? Well, obviously, more buyers than sellers. And I will just say, I will stick to my original price prediction of Bitcoin being somewhere between $5 and $500,000 in 2025. I'm going to stick with that. I know it's very risky for me to say that, but it'll be somewhere in between there. That's where I'm pretty much headed. But I have to tell you, if history repeats itself, we're in for a pretty wild ride in the next 3 to 4 weeks. This is what I'm talking about. So right now it is December 16th, 2024. And if we take a look back, again, everything is in cycles. And it's just astounding to me how things are lining up in not the ultimate exact perfect same way, but there are a lot of similarities. So let's just go back 4 years. 2020, we had just gotten through, well, roughly emerging from the coronavirus. Around March of 2020, everything collapsed. Then a week or 2 weeks later, the Fed said we're going to print like crazy. A lot of other shenanigans going on. And now in December, things are looking pretty good, right? Trump is about to lose office. Again, this is in 2020. The election's already behind us. Biden had already won. Everybody's jubilant about him coming in. See how that worked out. But this isn't a political channel. So let's just drop that right now. But if we take a look, December 16th, 2020, look how much Bitcoin was at. 19,387. It had not hit its prior cycle's all-time high of roughly 19,770, depending on which exchange you took a look at. But take a look at this. On December 16, 2020, again, everything emerging, everything's going good. Money printers are firing up. Everybody's looking very positive. There was actually talk about Gary Gensler doing a great job in the SEC as he was now picked to head that and doing great things. And we were all exuberant about what was happening. We went from 19,387 to 41,880 on January 8th. That's a 2x. So we doubled, right? Roughly. And it wasn't even, roughly 3 weeks. I mean, we went from sub 20 to 41,000. We doubled the price of Bitcoin. And let me tell you, when I went through that, it just seemed so surreal, like it wouldn't happen. Now, we can extrapolate that and even look back even further. Let's take a look at the previous cycle, 2016. That was the halving year. And before that, 2012. But this one, 2016, look where we were at back then. December 16, 2016, the Bitcoin price was 788. Let's say about 750, right? Somewhere around there. 788. And it just did a nice little hockey stick pattern up to January 3rd, and it topped out at 1,130. So not quite a 2x, but would anybody be upset if we did a 1.75, 1.65 to a 2x from here, where we're at 107,000? Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I got to tell you, back in, I don't know, the positivity that was surrounding Bitcoin in 2016. I wasn't around. I got here in 2017. But I can tell you in 2017, when everything, or excuse me, in 2020, I mean, we were just happy to go outside. There was no president talking about Bitcoin. There were no institutions gathering up. There was no talk of BlackRock. An ETF was a joke, quite honestly. I had heard ETF since 2017, and that never materialized. And I was like, well, this isn't going to happen either. And everybody thought it was, and it didn't. And even through all that, we were able to 2x from, again, 19,000 over $41,000. So could we see a 2x now? Possibly. There's a lot of talk about this Bitcoin strategic reserve and rumors coming in, and Trump coming in and doing an executive order on the first day. And I mean, heck, even Bobby is gambling on this himself, of saying it actually will happen. So we'll see. But I got to tell you, I think we're in the right place at the right time. And it's not just, just Bitcoin in America. I mean, let's shift angles here and take a look at another country, Germany. So Germany did a reasonably good job. They confiscated a bunch of Bitcoin, roughly 50,000, and they sold it. Now, unfortunately, this was back in July 2024. Germany decided to part ways with a big chunk, and they sold their Bitcoin at 58,000 per Bitcoin, which I got to tell you, at that point, pretty damn good. Good for you guys. Good for Germans. Good for the Germany, not for Germans. Good for the German government. Well, it's like the German citizens were all ecstatic about that. This is how much they lost so far. So if we're looking at, if the Bitcoin price today was 106,795, which roughly might go to 110 today, who knows? I don't know. But they lost out on $2.4 billion. Why is this important? It's not really important, quite honestly, in that grand scheme of things, because, I mean, they took some profits. What the big deal is in the grand scheme of things is a strategic reserve. I want you to listen to this. Actually, I'm going to read it to you because I don't know if you speak German, but I don't. This is from the former German finance minister, Christian Lindner. He publicly criticizes the Chancellor Olaf Scholz for failing to incorporate Bitcoin into Germany's financial strategy. And when we talk about the Bitcoin strategic reserve, I've said this many times, and I think a lot of people have echoed this sentiment, which is as soon as America finalizes their terms for the strategic reserve, whether they keep the 213,000 Bitcoin or they start to add to that position, which people think they actually could, and they start to buy up 1 million of said Bitcoin, all the other countries fall in line. And they sort of say, okay, well, if they have that as a strategic reserve, there's only 21 million. Actually, that's not even true. There's only roughly about 15 or 16 million because A, we haven't mined them all, roughly about 19.7 million so far. And B, we've also lost a bunch. Not we, but people in the early days, they've lost roughly 4 to 6 million of those Bitcoin. Either that's because they misplaced their private keys, they threw away their hard drive, which had Bitcoin on them. They just, in the early days when things were like a penny or $1, nobody cared. So they just threw it away. And right now we've got countries talking about it. Listen to what he says here. He cites the US as an example of taking the lead with crypto-friendly policies. I got to tell you, I think people are going to do a catch-up. I'm not going to play the audio. I'm just going to read it for you, especially those who are not even watching the screen. Like what I do, I just listen to a lot of things. Here's what he said. Dear colleagues, actually, let me mute this part. You don't need to hear it. Dear colleagues, Nothing I have heard about what happens in the world, what innovations there are that take place past Germany, not at the federal, not at the Minister of Economics. I've not heard of the opposition leader, that the US now has a new crypto-friendly policy. It's set in motion that the US has the advantages that we could also want to overtake in Bitcoin. Now, and I hear nothing about it. In a central debate of the German Bundestag, what omission, what chances have we lost, and where do we go from here? Essentially, what he's saying is like, look, you guys messed up. If they're going to have this as a strategic reserve, we should be on top of that. We're not. We sold our Bitcoin now at a paltry $58,000, and we need to get that back. So if this happened, or I think it will, I think this is pretty good news moving forward. Anyhow, that is my best case for this Bitcoin strategic reserve. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section. And lastly, I mean, we talk a lot about Bitcoin on this channel because there's a lot of juice behind it, a lot of things going on. But don't forget, there's these things called altcoins, and I own a boatload of them. And I got to tell you, I think that there's, if you're looking for, and I don't want you to be like Bobby and, you know, gamble like he does, but there's opportunities out there. And of course, you have to do your own research and look at it, but there's some good things out there. This was from Algopump. I thought it was interesting. This is, he says, after Eric Trump's statement, Eric Trump, son of Donald Trump, he's made a lot of statements. We don't know if they're true. We don't know if it's going to pass through Congress. We have no idea. But these US-based cryptocurrencies will be top gainers and key players in 2025. Now, he did say, actually, Donald Trump did say, and this was when he was being interviewed by Jim Cramer, and said that he's going to make Bitcoin a priority, make it great. And they're going to do a lot of amazing things in the first days of office. But he did say, and this is Eric Trump, that I think even Donald said this, US-based companies will be tax exempt. Let's see if it actually comes through. US-based cryptos will be tax-free. I'm hopeful, but cautiously optimistic. So if you're looking at the companies that are based here, and this isn't all of them, obviously, right? I believe Solana actually is here as well. Algo, XRP, ADA, Stellar, HBAR, XYO. And I bring this to your attention because there was a great video. It was with one of the legends, which is Mike Maloney. If you have not watched anything with Mike Maloney, you are missing out. He did a great series on money versus currency, why gold is great. I own gold and silver, but Mike is also smart enough to realize, unlike some particular gold bugs who will remain nameless, that Bitcoin is a future and a great hedge and a good idea to diversify your portfolio. And he had on a guest, I think it was HBAR Bull, and they just talked about HBAR, about how great it is, and there's different partnerships they're doing, and how it's really not a blockchain, and it's just a load of graphs put together, and how good it is. So I want you to watch this video, because if we're going to talk about this stuff, and it's great that it's tax-free, I mean, if it does happen, but I want you to be exposed to that. Now, for clarity, I just bought some HBAR because of this video like 2 or 3 days ago. And yes, I missed the opportunity. I know I did. But that's okay. I'll be all right. Don't worry about me. I'm pretty much following the Stanley Druckenmiller principle, which is just start buying some things and then do your research as much as possible, because it'll force you to do those things. So I just dip my toes in a little bit and see what HBAR is all about. And I know a lot of you guys are big believers in it. So, hey, why not? So I want you to watch that one. There's a second video I need you to watch. This is another legend, Andreas Antonopoulos. And there's some changes coming for US taxpayers, essentially how everything is organized with your different wallets. I know it's a big pain in the A, but just watch this video. It's long. It's an hour and 37 minutes. I'll just give you a quick look. Actually, skip the first like 15 minutes. Put it on 2x. It's great information. But essentially what it comes down to is that if you've done taxes before, US-based for your crypto, the IRS wants to see it in a different way, especially if you are using multiple wallets and it's about the cost basis. They could really screw you unless you do this before December 31st. I will break this video down. I will have the guys come in. I've got a couple of CPAs, and we'll go through this, and I'll explain this to everybody so no one's freaking out. But it's just something that you need to do to maximize those gains, and we can go from there. So 2 videos for you guys to watch. And that is after this. But that's it for today. So look, if you like today's video, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. Everything we talk about is time sensitive. Now, if we're so inclined, let's do a little Q&A, and I'll answer all your questions to the best of my abilities. We'll go from there. All right. Theta's already registered with the SEC. This is true. Theta is a great project. I still own it. I know people will say, Rob, you should talk more about it because you own it. I'm like, look, I own like 80 other altcoins. Like to squeeze all that stuff in. First of all, many of you don't even really care about Theta. There's very, very few of you that do. The ones that do care about it, I know you are highly passionate about the project, and I still have a boatload of those tokens. So I'll get around to it at some point, talk about how great it is. But if it's great by itself, it's great by itself, and it'll take off. So I'm happy with that. Yes, Tim. See, Tim called me Rob. So that means that the normies aren't here yet. What a bummer. Hey, Zoran's here. I did not catch why Bitcoin jumped twice to all-time high today. There's more buyers than sellers. That's pretty much it. I mean, look, like Ben always has a good point when we're doing the NFA lives. He's like, look, you can find a narrative for a plethora of reasons of why Bitcoin jumps up. And there are some that carry a heavy amount of weight and some that really don't. So I can just surmise that there's a lot more buyers than sellers. Probably people that shorted and they want to, liquidate the short sellers. Also, again, if we talk about, look at the news, we can see that the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve and people are always pumping that narrative, and let's see if it actually works out. So take your pick. I don't really know. I know my portfolio is up, and that's pretty good. But there's a lot of other different reasons out there. And at the end of the day, maybe it's just massive manipulation behind the scenes, and we have no really control over it. And that's why we dollar cost average. All right. Chinza says, Rob, does your 4 crypto investment rules really affect your crypto investment? Yes, it does. So actually it's 5. Now, sometimes this gets cut off, but let me just put this here. The 5 rules, Chinza. First and foremost, you can't invest more than you can afford to lose. It's all gone. That's why I say, like, when you are putting in $20, Trojan. Great, I'm back. Whatever it is that you have, and you invest in that, just make sure it doesn't cause you to have a palpitation or a heart attack. That way you know you're okay. So if I invest $20 and it pains me to spend $20, I shouldn't be investing. If I'm spending $100,000 and that has no relevance to me, then sure, go right ahead. So it just depends on, just make sure you don't invest more than you can afford to lose. Next one is everything's a scam. Everything's a scam until proven otherwise. I'm a scam. This pool might be a scam. Andreas Antonopoulos might be a scam. Everything could be a scam. Make sure that you verify it as much as possible. Every email you get, every correspondence that you read, every text message that you get from somebody who's like, hey, this is Coinbase, and just knowing that your account's been compromised, it's all scams. Everything is a scam until proven otherwise. So just remember that. Don't leave things in exchanges. I don't know why people keep doing this. And this is actually there's a reason why, and now you're really inclined to take things off exchanges. Watch that video with Andreas. Don't use leverage. I mean, if you want to, that's fine. Bobby does. He's a degenerate gambler. And lastly is take profits, because nobody ever went broke taking profits. And as a reminder, if you don't take profits, that's fine. But just remember, you could round trip those bags, and I don't want you guys to do that. Take a little profits. Enjoy life. What do you want to be, like Scrooge McDuck? Just open up your big vault and swim in cash all day long? That's boring. See, there you go. Foolish says it. I'm a scam. Exactly. Ben's chair is here. That's awesome. Had a text yesterday from a friend asking about crypto. So it begins. Hey, I'm curious. What do you guys tell your friends when they ask you about crypto these days? Like, I'll tell you what I tell them. Like, I tell my friends these days, I'm like, you know what? Don't get into it. Don't buy anything, because I don't want to hear you crying to me because I told you to sell and you didn't sell like last time. So I just tell them that they missed the opportunity that they should have. And then when they're like, and then the ones that do, like my friend George, is like, no, I know what I'm doing. I'm like, okay, well, this is what I'm buying. This. Good luck. Let's see. J2 Day. We're all scams. Well, not the wrenches. No, the wrenches, you guys hold the show down. You guys are doing a great job. Thank you. I'm a scam. We're all scams. Cletus, I'm definitely not trying to round trip again. I've got a plan this time. Still loading up on SwiftCoin. Sounds good. Ah, Flavio. Tell him to watch your videos. Thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's what I do too. I tell my friends to send me one coin. I'll send them back. Yeah, I say, hey, just send me like whatever you buy in on Coinbase. Just send it to the Solana address if it's Solana based, and I'll send you double back. You can trust me, bro. And then I take that money and I spend it. And I call them up and said, see, this is why you're not ready. And I'm going to take this funds and I'm going to teach you guys a lesson. I have new minivan vibes. Minivans are the Lambos of this cycle. If that doesn't make sense to you, you haven't watched this channel long enough. Meme is here. Late again. No, you're just on time. Here was the whole thing. Last cycles, we either 1.5x'd or 2x'd in 3 weeks from here. That's the whole thing. And looks like there's a couple of videos I want you guys to watch. Links in the description. Hey, Marky's here. If it happens, we have no tax on crypto. We'll all be celebrating. That's true. Ben's chair. Why would anyone short currently? I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it comes down to. And this was a good response from Guy over at Coin Bureau when we had the NFA live show a couple weeks ago. I asked the question, which was, people will say that it's best to go against the herd because when that group mentality is going one way, it usually does the exact opposite, and those are where real gains are made. And Guy said, well, which herd are you talking about? Are you talking about the herd of us, which is the minority of investors out there? Because look at our market cap is we're sub 4 trillion. I think at this point, a couple of weeks ago, I think it was just above 3. And he said, are you talking about the crypto investor or are you talking about the global investor everywhere? He said, look, he goes, in real estate, you have $400 trillion. In derivatives, you have 600 trillion up to $1 quadrillion of money sloshing around. Are you talking about that? Are you talking about the gold, which is roughly 18 and $19 trillion market cap? Which one are you talking about? Because if you're talking about the herd, the herd is going one way. And the Microsofts of the world and some of the bigger corporations like Apple and all those things, they're not getting on board with us. So we're actually going against the herd already. And I was like, oh, that's a good point. So as far as like, why would anyone short currently? It's because people that either don't understand it or they want to prove it wrong. Maybe they just think, yeah, this is the good time. Or they're like the TA masters. I will refrain from naming those people. And they think that they can short and make a ton of money. And usually what happens is, well, after they get short, then we come on here and we talk about it and I show you all the liquidations. And it's a good time for us, bad time for them. But maybe they do great. I don't know. Tuck says, Rob needs to add to his rules not to talk about it. No. I'm going to take that back. We can talk about dog. I got like 10 questions in a row one live stream, and I shouldn't have said that. But yeah, let's talk about dog. Dog go to moon. Because, dog go to moon. Dog go to moon. Done pretty well for not being listed too many places. It's down 3% a day. How about 7 days? 1 month? 3 months? Okay. It's okay. How about Max? It's only been out since 0.004. It's you don't know what dog go to the moon. It's a meme coin on Bitcoin. You have runes and you have ordinals. And ordinals are the NFTs of Bitcoin. And runes are like the fungible tokens, like the meme coins. And dog go to the moon is, I think, the #1 meme coin on Bitcoin. Some people love it, some people hate it. What are you going to do? Yeah, Echo says, my husband keeps saying he has regrets about not rolling from his top to his Roth IRA to buy more. I tell him we're doing fine. Yeah, exactly. Everybody right now, just know that you guys will all say the same, not all of you, but I think a lot of, even me, will say, damn it, I wish I would have bought more during this time. I wish I would have bought more, and I should have sold this, this, and this. And we can't go back in time. Trust me when I say this, you did everything you could possibly do to get to this point. You were way ahead of everybody else as far as the traditional investor. So just enjoy what you did. It wasn't easy. William says, Rob, do you think the intro into the Cryptoverse premium is most valuable in the bull or the bear? You know, personally, like for me, for those time and wristbands, they were invaluable in the bear market. I'm going to show you why. And the wristbands are going to be actually the wristbands, the pi cycle tops, the ROI assessments, the MVRVZ scores, all this stuff is going to be really paramount to when I start selling. So I need them in both times. But as far as like, because people say, well, it's really good for the bull because then we can, you know, like those things we just talked about, those, as I call them, the sell indicators, which look like this. Let's pop those open, shall we? We can take a look at the NUPL. And essentially, like all these things are just great because you can kind of take a look at all of them and put them together. You know what's even greater than this? I don't want to go through all these. Here's the even better one, which I need to do another video and actually update it. This one, the crypto risk indicators. Wow, on-chain metrics is getting high. What this does is it's an aggregate, and it takes all that data, total market cap risk, Bitcoin risk, logarithmic regression, fear and greed, and then on-chain analysis, the PWEL, multiple MVRVZ, MVRV, terminal price, and this one, the thermal cap ratio, which we just did a video on, which is pretty good. That's really high, actually. Huh. And then the socials, YouTube subscribers, Twitter, and all that stuff. And it just says, hey, this is right now as a summary, we're halfway there. Isn't that amazing? We're halfway there. And we just talked about doubling the price. Huh. Anyhow, if you go back to 2021, you can see just how overheated things get. 2017, heck, even 2013, except for social because they weren't tracking it. But you can just kind of, you know, and then here's the bear market. Awful. How about 2022? Well, that was in March. That's 2021. Oh, yeah, it's good times. November. Yeah, look at that. Bear market. So that's the big thing. And then there's this thing called dynamic DCAing. So when I take a look at these risk levels, oh, wow, look at that. XRP is at the top of the list for being risque at 250. Congratulations, XRP holders. Wow. I didn't know it was that high. But Bitcoin, just as an example, damn it, look at that. We're just talking about double. And when we're, of course, wristbands changed a long time, right? Obviously. But the top out here, as of right now, we're looking at 214,000. Again, that's just wristbands. But all it does is it allows you to get a somewhat decent perspective of where maybe potentially price action could go. And as things start to get less, as the price decreases, things get less risky. So instead of like putting like I remember where the heck am I? Yeah. So remember when we were buying like at 35,000, 40,000, remember those days? Good days. Heck, I remember sub 22,000. I remember buying at 8,500 when I first got in. Oh, it was good times. Anyhow, as time goes on, let's say you start here at 0.45 and you're buying $100 at Bitcoin at 63,000, and then things start collapsing and it goes down to 50,000. Like, well, now I'm at between 0.35 and 0.37. Okay, I'm going to double. And you pay $200. And as the price goes down for every little risk level, you start to increase your buying, your dollar cost averaging. And that I think was the big thing for me, and it kept me on track. And it's kind of like a mental, it's like a mental aspect, because you are what you repeatedly do. And when you take a look at this and you start to say, okay, well, I got to do this and this, you don't like going to lose sight of the big goal. The big goal was always after 4 years. And actually my wife today just asked me, she goes, because I was saying that, hey, the price is up, we're hit an all-time high. She goes, that must be great for you. I said, no. I go, you know what it's great for? I go, first of all, it's great for you because, she actually listens and bought some, did a great job selling it at points along the way. I say, you know who was really good for? I go, all the people that listen to me. I go, can you imagine if, I've been talking about this since 2020 about how great things could be. And I go, imagine if things hadn't gone this way. Like I felt pretty, I was relatively certain we would get to this point, 95%. There's always that 5% chance, 2%, 3% that things just don't work out. So like today, I feel great because everybody in the chats right now, most of you, if not all of you, are in profit. And that's awesome. All right, that was a long answer. Ooh. J2 Day, does iTRUST have a minimum funding to amount to open account? I don't believe so. I think it's relatively small. And I know if you use my code, just so you know, I use iTRUST. I've been using them for like 3 years. If you use that code, you get like $100 funding fee. So, but talk to the guys. I don't think there is a limit. There is a minimum. I don't think so. In the money. That's right. Rob, why do you think people from Coin Bureau don't like Cardano? It's the most secure blockchain, isn't it? It is. It's one of the most. It's not the most secure. Which one's more secure, do you think? Which one's would be easier to hack? Cardano or Bitcoin? I'm just saying. As far as like altcoins, I still say it's Bitcoin. But runner up, Cardano's looking pretty sharp, right? And I think it's going to do quite well. But I don't think Guy and the team hate Cardano. They don't really talk about it too much. But that's not true. That's totally not true. Because I want to say 2 or 3 weeks ago, Nick, who's on the channel, he had on the founder of Bitcoin OS. And Bitcoin OS, they had integrated Cardano as a layer 2 solution. Again, people will tell me, no, it's not a layer 2 in Bitcoin OS. It's this other thing. It's a sidechain. I don't know. I say it's layer 2. It acts like a layer 2 for fees. And they talked about that and how great it was for Cardano and how secure it was. And I watched the interview. I thought it was great. So maybe they don't do a dedicated video of Cardano, but when we talk offline, after the shows, they really don't have any problems with any cryptos that are out there that I know of. Why does nobody talk about Monero? Monero is, maybe that's the whole thing, because Monero is for privacy. That's why nobody talks about it. I don't know. She'll do the change and take half your crypto. Probably. Well, she's got to find, first of all, she has to find my mnemonic phrases. And good luck. Midnight is going to be a game changer? Yep. Yes, it will be. Partnership with Emergo, the Cardano Foundation. Let's see how well it does. Seth says Cardano doesn't pay influencers to talk about it, so its community is genuine, not calling out anyone in particular. If they want to pay me, I'll do it. I'll take payments in Cardano. Look, Charles, the DMs are open. No problems. If you want me to talk about more so about Cardano, I already do. Also, if you guys don't know, we have a stake pool for Cardano. It's called D News. There's a link in the description to show you how to stake. If you're not staking your Cardano, even if it's not with me, stake it with somebody. It's like easy yield, right? And I tell you, Cardano knocked it out of the park the way that they did the staking process. Just crushed it. Very secure, very safe, very easy, just like clockwork. There's no downtime. There's no a cool off period when you take out your Cardano and you have to wait. You just take it out and you go. It's great. They did a fantastic job. Yoroi wallet, anyhow. But for that stake pool, links in the description. But hey, if Murgo wants to pay me, I'm all ears. Monero is like Fight Club. Yes. And Payne says, hey, Rob, will your ADA stake pool participate with Midnight? Yes. Also, did you guys know that if you are staking with me, we're going to roll out our tomato coin, which we already did an airdrop back in 2021 for all of our stakeholders. And we're going to do another one again. So if you get in before January 1st, actually, that's not true. If you get in before January, no, it is January 1st. You get 14 days. If you get in before that time, you're going to get World Mobile Token airdrop. You're going to get a Cornucopia's airdrop. You're going to get the Crow airdrop. And you're going to get the Tomato Coin airdrop just for being part of my stake pool for free. So, yeah. What ADA wallet do you recommend? Nami, I can only tell you what I use. First of all, I use Daedalus. And people say, why do you use Daedalus? Because it's very slow and it's very old. And I'm like, well, I feel like I'm contributing more. It's a full node operation, so I do that. Also, there's one called Nami. That's a good one. There's another one I think it's called Eternal. People really like that one. But those are the ones that I know of. Rob, is Bybit a safe exchange? No. They're all not safe. That's why I have those rules up. I like that name, though. Robertus, they're all not safe. So I need you to take all your crypto off of the exchange as much as possible and put them in a cold storage device. Might I recommend one called TANGEM? Now it has over 2 million users. It's been out since 2018. Absolutely no hacks. I use TANGEM and Ledger. I know people use, I use a Trezor and I use an Arculus and I use this and that. Fantastic. I can't talk about those. I don't really use them. I'm not here to use 20 different wallets. I'm here to just use the ones that are simplest, the easiest, and the most secure. And those are the ones I like. Can you use that on TANGEM for ADA? Yeah. Yeah. Oh. It's a great point. King Ruby says fart coin. And it's a good comment. Not only is it a good comment, it's something that we should really take a look at. I have to tell you, I bought some of that. And why did I? Because I listened to Bobby. And Bobby's like, you got to get into fart coin, Rob. And I'm like, really, Bobby? He's like, yeah. He goes, I know you can't gamble on Polygon or Polymarket because you're a U.S. citizen. But get into fart coin. I was like, well, I guess so. And, gosh. In 7 days, up 166%. That's when I kind of got in. 14 days, 30 days. And it's ranked 158th. It's pretty good, right? So here's the thing about all these coins. They don't do anything, and they're worthless. And people say, but the community, Rob, that's great. Community is awesome. But I want you guys to do the half and half method. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a link in the description under my crypto critical videos. And all the half and half method is this. Whenever you double, especially on meme coins, you take half of your money out and then you leave the other half in. Now you get to play with house money. Then you wait for it to double again and you take half out again. And now you have your profits. And you keep doing that until you don't want to. You can keep doing halves, but the first two, you got to take, as soon as it doubles, you take half your money out. That means that there's no losses. And then if you do it again, then you have some profits. And if you do it again and again and again, now it's up to you. But people will say, but Rob, I want to ride fart coin all the way up to Valhalla when it becomes, the number 7 crypto in the world. You can do that, and that's fine. But here's what I can tell you is that there are over 15,000 meme coins being created on Pump Fun, Virtuals, and name whatever different platform that you can think of. How many of those have the same narrative that you just told me? It's going to go to the moon. It's going to go to Valhalla. I'm going to hold on forever. Don't do that. Take some profits. Nobody ever went broke taking profits. You do that, and then maybe you don't become a billionaire fart coin holder, but maybe you become a couple 100,000-aire. Or if you're really lucky, maybe you're at a multi-million-dollar type of fart coin holder. And you're like, hey, that worked out pretty well. I wish I would have had 10 billion, but you know what? 6 million is not bad. And the example I always give is if you would have done that with Ethereum, when Ethereum came out, okay, sure. It was like $5, $10, whatever it was. And you half and half and half and halved. Okay, you didn't have, $386 million, but you did have 12 million at the end of the day and you're feeling pretty good. The question then becomes, well, how much do you need? So smells fishy. That's why I love crypto. Because just like 10JK says, Fartcoin is better than my GRT. Fartcoin's better than most anything. I just did a great play. Well, I thought it was a great play in this project called Aether. And I've talked about this, an AI play, GPU renting of unused computational power. Great play. It went to nothing. It's now ranked like in the 250s. I think it's like 248, 47. Looks pretty good. Fartcoin, shoo, number 158. What are you going to do? AD it's not listed yet, still in pre-sale. Nice. Litecoin is the next Fartcoin. Litecoin for the win. Litecoin's been around forever. You know what, Jim? I'm gonna have to ask Ben on the show. It's on my channel this week, so I'll ask him where the Fartcoin wristbands are. That would be pretty funny. All right, this is hilarious, Grillmaster. You're right. See, this is why these do so well, because people say stuff like that, and I think it's funny. And I'm not mature enough not to laugh at that. Did you ever think you'd ever say, I want to ride Fartcoin in your lifetime? No. But here we are talking about it. And I got to tell you, I think I'm underexposed to that project. We're all 5 years old. Essentially, we are. Yeah. Pretty soon we'll be measuring everything in farts. Maybe instead of saying, hey, how many Fartcoins do you have? Say, oh, well, we don't denominate that in Fartcoins because it's valuable so much. We actually denominate everything in sharts. So one Fartcoin is equal to 100 million sharts coins. So we actually have, we're gonna stack sharts. That'll be the next big thing. I cannot believe I said that without busting out into laughter. It was pretty good. Stack sharts. There you go. That's a t-shirt waiting to happen. Shartoshis, yes. Yeah, I mean, you can't get any better than that. Fart Bitcoin ratio. I wonder if we can use, God, really going off the rails today, everybody. I wonder if we can use Ben's website, go to the workbench, and let's add a metric. Let's see if it's in here. Oh my God, it is. So we're going to take Fartcoin, add that here. We're going to get rid of Bitcoin. Okay. Now let's put in Bitcoin, but the price metric will be great. Dominance. So we'll take Bitcoin dominance versus Fartcoin dominance. Let me see if I can do this again. This is what's great about Ben's website. You can do this thing called Workbench, and you can add anything you want to. You can put the M1 money supply over Bitcoin. You can put the S&P 500. You can put any kind of ratio that you want to, and just kind of like compare everything. And you can do that with crypto, with macro, GDP. What else I got? GDP, recession, net exports, debt, and then also any kind of stocks that you want to put in there. Pretty cool. I like that part. So let's see. Chart. That's not right. If we really all came together and we made a Chart coin, I think that could overtake the popularity of Fartcoin. Let's see. Fartcoin. Will it give us dominance? Oh my God, it will. So Fartcoin dominance. I got to tell you, it's looking pretty good. So, well, I'm not going to say that Fartcoin could outdo Bitcoin dominance, but I will tell you that as far as percentage-wise, to go from 0.00469 Fartcoin dominance to 0.02 is quite a marvelous run. And this is why I love on-chain analysis and like using kind of ratios. You can say, you know what, we're up, as far as dominance, we're up, 500% or whatever it is. Correct me in the comments. But Bitcoin dominance is only went from 55% to 50, and it's losing ground to Fartcoin. Yep, this is what we do. You know, crypto is the future. And that is what we just talked about. Unbelievable. That was fun. Do you decorate your pool for Christmas? Yes. Put little lights in? No, we don't. I got to tell you, there's no better place for Christmas than Puerto Rico. If you ever go to a place that loves Christmas and loves decoration, loves the celebration of Christmas, it is Puerto Rico. This place is crazy. It's great. It's great. It's a good one. Fartcoin has high gas fees. See, this is why this is going to make it. Do you hodl fart painful? Chartoshis. Half gassed. You have to change. But fart dominance. Traveling down a rabbit hole. I don't care who you are. I got to tell you, after I get off this live stream, I'm going to double down on Fartcoin. Oh, man, this was good stuff. Let's see. Crypto for the win. When you pay the Fartcoin, makes a noise too. There's a great a DEX VIM swap. And I don't know if you guys ever use it. It's a Cardano-based exchange. It works real well, really great, very smooth. But when you make the transactions, it makes a purring sound. So if there was like some kind of like fart DEX or something like that, I mean, that would be pretty funny. Aparanda. Yeah, exactly. Don't hodl. Rob, thoughts on Gala? My thought is this, not to move away from the future of finance that is Fartcoin, but Gala, are the two founders still suing each other? Because that's not a good look for any kind of company. I don't really know. You guys know my position. My Gala version 1 tokens are still on Coinbase. So not really a big fan of Gala just because of that. I'm sure they make good games so far. Not as good as like, say, Off the Grid. That's a great looking game. Might do well. I have no idea. Flow World says, hey, Rob, Germany is not to blame. It is the law and an ongoing lawsuit in Germany. They had to sell. It's a funny thing about laws. I wonder what the law was, and I wonder why they couldn't change that. It's amazing how if the law is there and it just hinders them so bad. I mean, look, if they want to be part of that reserve, I mean, what an awful thing. And now they have to buy it in at like 200,000 or 300,000 or 400,000. I will sell them some if they need it. But that's an OTC between me and the German government. Yeah, NIM swap purse, that's pretty cool. And there's very little slippage. It's very fast. I like them. You have a green screen on your green screen. Why are you trolling us? This is real. Pay no attention to the fact that my microphone keeps disappearing. That's just, it's like a Harry Potter microphone or something. No, Mima has a good point. I don't blame Germany. I thank them. That's a good point. We look at Gary Gensler, we demonize him for all the problems that he caused us, and the low amount of return on investment. But if we really think about it, especially for those XRP holders who really had dedication, like we talked about, I'll just show you. Watch this. Go to Ben's site. You can do the workbench, put in a Fartcoin dominance. I got to take a picture of this. Hold on. There. I'm going to troll Ben later on this one. Oh, hold on. There we go. And there we go. Get this later. So if we come over here to tools, DCA, I want to show you just the power of conviction quickly. Let's take the asset as XRP. Let's say put $100 a week every Monday, starting on, I don't know. Let's take the middle of the year, June 1st, 2018, and you stop on December 1st. If you would have done that and just said, you know what, because the all-time high for, let me show you. So obviously the time to sell was in 2018, right? And then it just collapsed down here. And then it had a nice little rally. Then it collapsed. Now here we are again. So if you would have just bought around here at $1 and just held, that's a long time. And you only, didn't even, well, you kind of did a 2x. But check this out. The power of conviction is as such. If you would have done $100 over all that time, even when, actually, here's my question. Let's ask. Perplexity. When was Ripple, the company, sued by the SEC? December 2020. Oh, wow. So let's do that. Actually, no, we can't even do that. So let's say $100 a week, 2018, right? 2020 hasn't been around, and you just were buying $100. If you would have done that, then as of, it only goes December 16th, you'd be up 500%, 517%, as opposed to just holding. All you had to do is just keep buying. So with like, and you outperform stacks and AVAX. I don't know if that's correct, but you know how like we talk about Bitcoin and how great it's doing? You'd have almost matched, well, actually, that's not true. You're actually 150, 60 somewhere away from Bitcoin. But still, you kept buying. I still think that XRP will do really well this cycle, just because of the people that believe in it. So it really all comes down to conviction and how long you want to go for. Magic, are you a bot? People ask a lot of questions, same thing. Shay says, once ETH breaks the 401 resistance, I think we're off. I hope so. It'd be great. XRP army. Joel says, this is a good one, right? Here to leave off. Rob, I was thinking of taking profits to reinvest next bear market, but is there any concern for trying to reinvest in Bitcoin? There's talk about not enough on exchanges. This is a very nuanced question, but I will leave it like this. I put out a video where I'm going to sell, 50, 80% of all my crypto. But if the world comes in and says, well, America first, and they say, we're going to do a strategic reserve and like really go heavy, not just like, okay, we're just going to keep this 213,000, never sell. That I don't think is going to be a big difference, because that's what we always hold. But if they start actively buying and the other countries follow suit, all bets are off for Bitcoin. Now, just like Michael Saylor said when he's talking to Dave Portnoy, was upset because he bought Bitcoin back when it was sub 20,000. Now it's over 100. And Taylor said, look, he goes, you're getting it at a 90% discount at 100,000. He goes, his base case was $1 million to 14 million per token per coin as time goes on. So for me, to answer your question, as far as like taking profits right now, I don't think it's a great time for me. The indicators that I look at, which we just took a look at, on Ben's site, we saw I mean, things are heating up. I don't think it's at that point where I'd want to. But in all honesty, if you take profits right now, nobody run broke taking profits. If you're like, hey, I want to take some profits, I want to pay off this, or I want to do this, you know, I want to not have the stress of that, go ahead and do it. But for me right now, I'm sitting pretty good. And I'm not going to take anything for myself. But as far as like next bear run and reinvesting, I think we got some time before that actually happens. But I could be wrong. Everybody, that's it for today. So look, like today's video, went a little bit long today. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe, all that great stuff. But that is it for today. Also, don't forget to watch those 2 videos, links in the description. Thanks so much, everybody. I appreciate it. See you guys on the next one. Adios.